हाँ पा आ रहा हूँ। नील
War in Sudan, world's biggest humanitarian crisis. US envoy, US President Donald Trump, Africa envoy, US President Donald Trump's Africa envoy, Masad Boulos on Saturday called the war in Sudan the world's biggest humanitarian crisis, saying he hoped to see diplomatic progress towards peace. Diplomatic progress towards peace. Since its outbreak in April 2023, the war between Sudan's army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces RSF has killed tens of thousands of people and displaced nearly 12 million. At the end of October, the paramilitary group seized control of Al Fashar, the conclusion of bitter 18-month siege for the strategic hub in western Sudan's Darfur region, and marked by reports of mass killings and sexual violence. The conflict in Sudan, the humanitarian side of this conflict is the world's biggest humanitarian. The humanitarian side of this conflict is the world's biggest humanitarian crisis today, and the world's biggest humanitarian catastrophe. Especially what happened, especially especially what happened in Al Fashar in the last 2 or 3 weeks. We have all seen those videos. We have seen those reports. Those atrocities are absolutely unacceptable. This must stop very quickly. Washington has urged the warring parties to finalize a truce in Sudan. Washington has urged the warring parties to finalize a truce in Sudan. Finalize a truce. The temporary cessation or suspension of hostilities. हाँ हाँ. The country's army-aligned government has indicated it will press on with the following on internal meeting on a US truce proposal. While the RSF has said it agrees on the truce presented by mediators, the paramilitary group has also continued offensive. Bolu said that the US and its mediating partners were calling on the two sides to agree on the 3 month humanitarian truce. Truce. Wikipedia. Sudan war Wikipedia. The Sudanese civil war began on 15 April 2023, following a powerful struggle within the military government that had taken power after October 21 coup. It is an ongoing conflict between Sudanese army armed forces led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the paramilitary rapid support forces led by General Hamdan Dagalo, commonly known as Hamidati. The RSF, originally formed by Janjaweed Janjaweed militias during the war in Darfur, has been accused of committing ethnic cleansing and genocide against non-Arab groups. Warrant of RSF committing ethnic cleansing and genocide against non-Arab groups such as the Fur, Masalit, and Jagwa, Jagawa people. The conflict has resulted in the largest forced displacement in the recent history, with nearly 12 people forced to flee Sudan since 2023. Where Sudan? There has been active civil war in Sudan. Fighting was initially concentrated in the capital Khartoum and the Darfur region, where the RSF has been responsible for widespread atrocities, including the Masalit massacres. Masalit massacres by October 2025. The RSF had captured Al Fashar, the Sudan Armed Forces' last stronghold in Darfur, consolidating control over most of the region. The Sudan's armed forces regained momentum in early 2024, retaking Khartoum, including the presidential palace and airport by March 2025. Despite this, the war continues with severe humanitarian consequences, including famine, disease outbreak, and the near collapse of infrastructure and education systems. The war has triggered one of the world's worst hunger crises, with approximately 25 million people experiencing severe food insecurity by August 2025 and nearly 4 million children acutely malnourished. The overall death toll, including the fatalities from violence, starvation, and disease, exceeds 61,000 in Khartoum state alone, with thousands more missing or killed in targeted massacres. Over 8.8 million people are internally displaced and more than 3.5 million have fled as refugees. Sexual violence has been widespread, particularly against refugees and during looting. Foreign involvement has been significant, with United Arab Emirates supplying arms to RSF despite international sanctions and evidence of violations. The UAE denies these allegations. The United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and the European Union have imposed sanctions on individuals and entities linked to both SF and RSF for human rights abuses and destabilizing activities. January 2025, in January, in January 2025, the United States declared the RSF and the allied militaries committed genocide. The conflict is part of a broader pattern of instability. The conflict is a part of a broader pattern of instability in Sudan, which has experienced 20 coup attempts since independence in 1956, two major civil wars, and the Darfur genocide. The war in Darfur, which began in 2003, was marked by state sponsored violence and led indictment of former President Omar al Bashir for genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity by International Criminal Court. Sudan war. Trump's U.S. President calls U.S. President calls Thailand, Cambodia after fresh clashes. U.S. President Donald Trump said he called Thailand and Cambodia. U.S. President Donald Trump said he called Thailand and Cambodia on Friday to bolster the peace deal held broker after fresh clashes erupted between the South Asian neighbors. US President Donald Trump said he called Thailand and Cambodia on Friday and to bolster the peace deal after fresh clashes erupted between the South Asian neighbors. Trump co-signed a truce between the two countries on October 26 during a tour of Asia, touting it as one of the several peace deals around the world that he believes should win him the Nobel Peace Prize. But Thailand suspended the deal on the Monday after an alleged landmine blast in the two sides' visions of new clashes. Trump disowns scheme or ally. United Nations Security Council to vote on Trump's Gaza plan on Monday, hoping for a better tomorrow. People sweep our road during "We will rebuild it again. We will rebuild it again" campaign organized by Gaza Municipality in partnership with the Palestinian NGO Network and the Gaza Chamber of Commerce. The UN Security Council will vote on Monday on a resolution endorsing US President Trump's Gaza peace plan. Diplomats said last week the US officially launched negotiations between member UNSC on text that would follow up ceasefire and two-year war between Israel and Hamas. Trump's plan, a draft on the resolution, welcomes the establishment of the Board of Peace mandate running until the end of 2027. Unlike previous drafts, the latest mention a possible future Palestinian state. ignoring own orders. Supreme Court has kept the case in limbo since. Limbo. Case is in limbo. Stay on Corbett coaching proof. It is a classic case of how Supreme Court does not follow its own rulings. It is a classic case of how Supreme Court does not follow its own rulings. While it has repeatedly held any stay order in criminal matters should not continue for an unduly long time. Its stay order on CBI probe into poaching of uh, while it has repeatedly held हाँ साफी
काफी नहीं है मतलब बच्चा हुआ है निर्मल मगर धुलना
हाँ
गंदा
तो धुल दे
पहले हो गए 2 बार तो
धुल दे
हाँ
ये भी धुल दे
हैं?
दोनों बराबर ही कहना
हम पहले 3-4 बार
हाँ
हैं?
हाँ
लाओ फिर ला देते हैं तो ठंडा देते हैं
It is a classic case of how Supreme Court does not allow its own ruling. Why it has repeatedly held any stay order in criminal matters should not continue for an unduly long time. Its stay order on a CBI probe into poaching of animals in Corbett Tiger Reserve has been in operation for last 7 years. Now the apex court had agreed to hear a plea filed by the environmentalist from Uttarakhand seeking lifting of stay to allow CBI to complete its probe, which had suggested connivance of forest officials with poachers. Connivance. Limbo. Connivance. Director of Corporation Commissioner. Connivance. Connivance. Interestingly, CBI has also filed an application for vacation of order in which it mentioned the findings of preliminary inquiry conducted by it. In this case, High Court had in September ordered CBI probe 2018 ordered the CBI probe into all purchase cases in the state in the past year and to find out complicity, involvement, and or collusion, connivance, collusion. Or collusion. Of serving forest department of officials in these incidents after the court was informed that 40 tigers and 272 stayed in the last 1.5 years. His photographic face across reveals children identity persons including first connivance. It is further submitted that direction for preliminary inquiry by CBI was passed by
कहाँ से मिल गया लाडले? कहाँ से मिल गया लाडले? क्या है बोले कि नहीं रखा?
नहीं बोल रखे हो क्या?
पापा को फोन था। पापा क्यों चुरा तो शर्म करो, पापा क्यों चुरा
क्या?
यार?
क्या?
पापा ठप पे आए हैं।
मैं दिया था सही करवाने के लिए यार।
सही हो गया?
नहीं
सही करना तो यार सही करोगे एक बार।
दवा ये चलाओगे क्या?
पापा आया। तुमने कुछ काम करना नहीं है।
Oh my mercy. क्या लाडली? 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 क्या वो लाडली? मारेगा लाडली।
वही होता है फॉर्च्यूनर।
गाड़ी चले फॉर्च्यूनर चले ये
आप इसलिए लगता है ना
चक्री
थोड़ी सी आपका डंपर खड़े सकते
ये
हैं।
डंपर गाड़ी चले
India and France will begin air combat exercise today at Mont-de-Marsan. The Indian Air Force has deployed 6 Sukhoi Mk-8 fighter jets backed by IL-78 mid-air refueling and C-17 Globemaster III strategic lift aircraft for the Garuda exercise. Garud C-17 Globemaster III IL-78 mid-air. Let's see this IL-78. IL-70 refueling. IL mid-air refueling. Ilyushin 278 in-flight refueling tanker model by Ilyushin. There's no The Ilyushin 278. Ilyushin 278 NATO reporting named Midas is a Soviet Russian 4-engine aerial refueling tanker based on IL-76 strategic airlifter developed to meet the need of dedicated tanker aircraft capable of supporting new long-range bombers like Tupolev 2 and Tu-160. It made its first flight on August June 1983 and entered service in 1984. The aircraft is designed to refuel military aircraft in flight. Want to see the picture Ilyushin 278 IL-78. Remember Ilyushin 2. Damn, bro. IL-78. Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway. See for different stuff. Lashes out a defense cause. Show a bit of patriotism. Don't overprice products. Deliver on time. Gentle. A lot of industry says this is 70% indigenous, but actually it is not. You have to be truthful about this because it is related to matters of security. Cost competitiveness is not for selling to Indian Armed Forces, not for selling. You have to be cost competitive to compete in foreign markets. Flagging concerns that Indian armed companies were failing to deliver emergency procurements on time, that have some of them were even inflating the extent of indigenous content in their products. Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan has said the armed forces expect a bit of nationalism and patriotism, profit-driven endeavors. Defense reforms are not a one-way street. Domestic industries will have to be truthful about their indigenous capabilities to us. You cannot leave us in the lurch. When you sign a contract and don't deliver in that particular time frame, it is a capability that it is being lost. Serious at the USS seminar on Friday said Army had told him most of the Indian companies had overpromised things and failed to deliver the specified time frame during fifth and sixth phases of the emergency procurement mechanism. Lucknow. The planning department organized a one-day training and workshop on Saturday to strengthen district level workshop to boost district level financial insight. Workshop. The planning department organized a one-day training and workshop on Saturday to strengthen district learning level economic insight. The workshop was titled From Data Development, Strengthening District Level Economic Insight, highlighted the critical role of economic data at the district level and the need to use it effectively for better administration. He encouraged local administrations to use relevant data to accelerate development and take timely and positive action. Kumar also discussed the $1 trillion economy mission. Kumar also discussed the $1 trillion economy mission for the state, reminding officials to prepare for its rollout, hold review meetings, and make necessary improvements. It was emphasized that district level planning needs to be development oriented and inclusive. Kumar said accurate district level data is pivotal for realizing national development goals. The workshop included technical sessions on two key topics such as district domestic product estimates, district OTD cells, DP toolkits, annual surveys of industries, index of industrial products, women economic empowerment index, and Viksit Uttar Pradesh 2047. The workshop included technical sessions to key topics such as district domestic product estimates, district OTD cells, DDP toolkits, annual survey of industries, index of industrial production, women economic empowerment index, women economic empowerment index, and Viksit Uttar Pradesh 2047. Women's economic empowerment index. UP must be global leader startups. Yogi call for time-bound approval systems, expressing satisfaction over the progress of startups, semiconductors and electronics manufacturing in the state during a review meeting of the IT and the electronics department here on Saturday. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath stressed the need for a simple, transparent, and time-bound approval system for investors in the IT and ITES sectors. Uttar Pradesh has steadily advanced in startups, semiconductors, data centers, and electronic manufacturing and must now position itself at forefront of global competitions. The CM said, adding, one semiconductor project has already been approved and continue focus. Manufacturing and must now push. The state startup economy is expanding rapidly and must be further strengthened by ensuring comprehensive support for training, testing, and market linkages. Eligible investors should not face delays in receiving incentives, and department must ensure clear accountability for timely processing. The CM said, adding that there was a need for innovative training models and enhanced collaboration with organizations. Officials apprised the CM that electronic export rose from 3,862 crores in 2017-18 to 44,000 in 2024-25, while IT exports grew from 55,000 to 82,000 crores in the same period. Under the Electronic Manufacturing Policy 2020, the state received 67 investment proposals worth 15,000 crores with the potential to generate 1,48,710. Under the Electronics Manufacturing Policy, rupees 4,030 crores have been approved so far, and 25 additional proposals are expected to be cleared by March 2026. Officials informed the CM during the meeting. They also informed him that under the data center policy, companies such as the Hiran Andani Group, NTT Globe, Webworks, Adani Enterprises, and ST Telemedia have proposed investments exceeding 21,000 crores projected to create around 10,000 jobs. Also, startup policy has given significant progress, while 274 lakhs was released to startup promoting 2021 grants seized by January 2025. The Chief Minister, Yogi to International Trade Fair. Written industrial sheds, affordable plots. Child-friendly policing, sensitive approach to the justice delivery. A day-long workshop on strengthening coordination and capacity building among special juvenile police units and other child protection special juvenile police units and other child protection agencies was held on Saturday at the police headquarters in Gomti Nagar Extension. The workshop was organized under the guidance of Honorable Juvenile Justice Committee of Allahabad High Court in collaboration with the Women's Child Safety Organization of Uttar Pradesh Police and UNICEF. The event was inaugurated by Chairperson of Juvenile Justice Committee, Justice Ajay Bhanot, along with DGP Rajiv Krishna. In addressing the officers, Justice Bhanot said that without empathy, the juvenile justice framework cannot be implemented effectively. He highlighted how policing has evolved from fear-based interactions with children to child-friendly sensitive approach mandated by JJ Act. When a child comes in contact with the police, the official's tone determines whether truth will emerge or the child will retreat in fear. The truth will emerge or the child will fear. He said, stressing the importance of compassionate communication. DGP Krishna expressed gratitude to High Court Committee and emphasized that the police form the first and the most critical point of contact for any child, whether a victim, witness, suspect, or child in need of care and protection. He warned that a wrong initial assessment of could have lifelong consequences and called for a balanced use of experience, training, sensitivity, and legal awareness. He highlighted UP Police initiatives to decentralize services to Thana level to reduce hardship for women and children. Mission Shakti Kendras have now been expanded to offer awareness drives, counseling, preventive policing, and psychological support and village level outreach. UNICEF's chief of field officer said that National Roundtable of Juvenile and POCs reinforces the need for strong child-oriented. Mayor's Bugil Mathura Zari's पोशाक मथुरा का जारी पोशाक मथुरा से जारी पोशाक with two new geographical indication tag Mathura Zari पोशाक and Mayor's Bugil. UP maintained dominance in GI tag goods in country. The Zari attire made in Mathura is associated with Lord Krishna. Bugil of Meerut played an important role in freedom struggle. Bugil. UP tops in GI in India with 79 GI tagged products, surpassing Tamil Nadu with 69 GI tags. There was a significant increase in GI tags, particularly in handicraft sector, with Kashi region alone boasting of 32 GI tagged products. The growth is attributed to continuous efforts of various organizations to promote the state's unique products. Zari attire of Mathura has been symbol of devotion to Lord Krishna. The tradition, adornment tradition, and exquisite, exquisite craftsmanship. The exquisite, exquisite, exquisite sculptures were highly skilled and intricate art, extremely beautiful, exquisite, sustaining for centuries. A large number of artisans are associated with this art, with this art, whose several generations have carried forward this tradition in Mathura. Additionally, thousands of women artisans are also contributing to the Zari embroidery. Padma Shri awardee Rajni Kant, GI Man of India, Padma Shri Rajnikant, GI Man of India, said that for Zari Poshak, Mathura district administration support a symbol for India's independence history and the revolution of the Google ignited the fire of freedom, striking even today. It is a single one. Public schools, schools. Viranga Oda Devi Pasiji, unveiling the statue. Lots. SOPs followed no triangle in Navgam blast. Officials in Delhi said SOPs were followed in Navgam as police, personal ministerial staff and the forensic inspector continued working late into Friday night to complete the ceremony. Officials said an external agent yet to be ascertained but which could be flying spark from something nearby may have taken part. CDS said most Indian companies have overpromised things and failed to deliver specified time frames. This is unacceptable, he said. The EP mechanism empowers armed forces contracts each for 300 crores that have been executed within a year instead of following the normal long procedure after the EP5 last year, which was reserved exclusively for domestic companies. The Defence Ministry has approved EP6. This came following the cross-border hostilities with Pakistan during Operation Blue. Still have the Army, Indian Air Force and the Navy to build as well as stockpiles of missiles and other long-range weapons. Lloyd and precision guided missile munitions, kamikaze drones and drone systems, among other weapons and ammunition throughout the foreign shores. Some allegation that many domestic companies are merely assembling systems after importing them instead of manufacturing them. General Anil Chauhan said a lot of the industry says it is sentiment. Actually, if you know, you have to be careful about this being because it is related to matter security. The chief of defense staff also criticized our providing weapon systems and platforms. You will have to be cost competitive. Cost competitiveness is not selling to the Indian armed forces. You have to be cost competitive to compete in the foreign market. You can't have products which are overpriced. Trump duty waiver boost to Indian agriculture exports. Indian spice exports to US were valued at more than $500 million in 2024, and the US imported $500 million spice from India, worth nearly tea and coffee from India, $53 million tea imported 43 million fish in the cashew nuts. 843 million dollar worth of nuts, which also got a break from across the world, with India accounting for around 20% of the imports. From across the world, with India accounting for around 20% of the imports. Not making the cut, however, are Indian seafoods, including shrimp and the basmati rice, which are multi-billion-dollar exports from the India to the US. Indian jewelry and apparel still remain under 50% of US tariff sanctions, pending a trade deal that Trump has said will happen once New Delhi turns off the Russian oil spigot instead of buying US energy. Effectively, the exemptions apply only to settle over $1 billion in qualifying agricultural exports from India. Indian government officials said in New Delhi that 50% processed food exports were estimated at $491 million last year. In coffee and tea, Cocoa Corporation produces food bulk planning for its vegetation versus top gainers. Next will be spices, whose exports were priced $59 million last year. They said the fruits and nuts and coconuts were mining. And pineapples also stand benefit, although the value of these exports were around $55 million. These amounts were sector national exempted for produce was estimated at